A note on Anna Christie, legendary Greta Garbo, the Meryl Streep of another age, if you will, in a film that has been included on the New York Times' list of best 1,000 movies ever made. Um, this view was not really thrilled by a black and white movie. Granted, it probably is in an important part due to some silly misconception in childhood under communism, which is what we had here. Now it's moved to America in the form of idiot Trump. Not really communism, but another form of tembelism, of stupidity. Um, we had a limited programming, so limited that for some years we only had 2 hours with the idiot from here at that time, Ceausescu, an earlier version of the orange orangutan in the US, something like the North Korean king, if you think in terms of the present, and otherwise very few films, and many of them old. Old doesn't mean bad, but it sort of made created a prejudice against them somehow, because they will only accept the censorship. First of all, they wouldn't pay money, I mean, for newer productions. But then, more important in the second place was the fact that they wanted films, books, anything without criticism of the regime. You see what I mean? Only subjects from an older age, from another age, which would not hint at troubles created by the communist regime. Shortages, there was little available, if anything. You queued for bread, anything. So all the films were not very appreciated, alas, at that time. So that's part of a preconception, a prejudice against them, which is stupid, of course. And it's probably in the subconscious still present there, this miseducation of the past. But aside from that, I don't think it's so exceptional if we take aside the fact that yes, it was one of the first films to deal with some problems. For instance, the abuse against women. But Greta Garbo, yes, we heard she was a magnificent artist. She is. But, well, let's take another view and say, mea culpa. This view is not so good at finding value quite often, and maybe here again that was lacking. Greta Garbo is the Anna Christie of the title. She returns. In fact, after 15 years, her father receives a letter. He had abandoned her 15 years ago. She's been living on a farm, very poor conditions, very bad. And then the abuse I was mentioning. At one point, one of the cousins comes home and he seemingly raped her. We don't get the description of the exact details, but it's becoming clear. And she hates men. She had a very, very torturing life, and that trauma. And apparently she had to work in a brothel, and she doesn't mention this. She sails with her father, who is the captain of a barge, and then she meets Matt, a sailor who escapes close encounter with death. There's a wreckage. He is saved on this ship of her father. An infatuation, I'm not sure if we should call it love. is there, and now she's in a quandary. She doesn't want to accept to be his wife. He proposes, but then she doesn't know if she's supposed to tell about her past. She does in the end, and it's a dramatic, climactic